Hey folks, how's it going? It's Sunday, October 26th, 2014, and I want to get this video out there while it's still fresh on my mind. This is to cover trading for the morning of Friday, October 24th. And I do these videos for me primarily so that I can remember when I look back on these months from now, I have a context of what I was thinking. Friday was one of the more interesting days for me in terms of management. Got a little bit too complacent in my management, my trade management, and wanted to go over that. And so let's talk about trading for that morning. Uh, Now I have this annotation tool. I'm going to actually try here. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, does this work? Yeah, there we go. All right. So just talk about the context. Some things stand out when I look at this chart, just from a fresh perspective. All right. Obviously, I'm looking at this here. All right. So um, clearly there was well, there was a sell-off, and then price rallied and actually broke the high of that sell-off. So I know that first of all, I know there's some demand in that area there, but also that stops from above the where the stop out point from this sell-off got cleared out with this wick here. Um, and so I'm already, the whole picture. That's not what I wanted. This whole picture just reeks of an upside of an upside bias. All right, and the components of that are so after this rally up here, price just started ranging right on the 16,600 level, and then right before the market opened, price finally burst out of that box, and so we had this rally to the upside. And so the other thing I'm looking at is all in context with that was this here, specifically this candle here. After a candle like that, I would expect the price to, keep on going. What it did instead was range right in that area there, which I mean, it's to be expected because the market hasn't opened yet. This is a few minutes before the market opens, so I mean, what do you really expect? Is the market just going to just plow to the upside? But uh, seeing this candle here, and then seeing the way price is just ranging right in that box, I'm already looking for a break to the downside in this area here. And actually, I marked that off. Let me just see. Yeah, you can see me mark off that level there. So my plan was on the opening candle, and this was the opening candle here. My plan was, first of all, that I would wait to see what would happen on this candle, because I suspected that it would try to break this area here. And if it did break this area, but then couldn't get above, what I was basically looking to do was to front run the break of this level here to the downside and get my first trade off there. Now that was my plan, but this is what happened. So you can see price did break above, and it did. I did see that rejection there, but I'm only. This is like 30 seconds into the candle, and I just want to wait to see exactly what's going to happen. You see, price did make that second attempt at the upside, broke even a point higher, but then still is trading back in this box. All right, so I'm thinking, okay, this is a bull trap forming here potentially, and so where are the stops? Stops are going to be underneath here. I'm going to look to liquidate, trade into those stops to clear those out. Now, the only problem is I was just waiting to see. I was looking at this candle, and I was just waiting to see if maybe by some chance that I didn't really think this would happen and expect it to, but it was possible that maybe price was just going to take off from there, and then if it did that, then my trade thesis is completely invalidated, and I'm just wait for whatever the next setup is. But I have a potential short setup here. The problem is that when I entered, I was just too slow to enter. And so my entry was there. So I'm thinking, ugh, what I really wanted was to short here, which would have been the break of this candle here, so that my stop would be above here. So look where my stop is. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. There we go. There's my stop. There's my entry. So now I'm in this trade. I'm thinking, ugh, my stop's really in a bad place. And I was contemplating possibly moving it up above this candle, but I quickly dismissed that. It was just too much risk. Now, the problem with this is that, and you can see how price found support here. And started to find some buying. I started to see the candle. You see the way the candles just sort of flickers in that area. That's not a great thing because it shows that the market's already struggling. The market's struggling to get to the downside, so that doesn't really help my my trade thesis at all. But the real problem here is that I didn't move my stop to where it should be, which was here. Because think about it, this is where I wanted to enter. This should have been my entry. So just because my entry is down here doesn't mean that I get to change how I manage this trade now. I have to manage it from the point of where what the market's doing, not where my entry is. I really wanted to enter here. My stop should have gone down there immediately after I started to get onside. So I didn't, and I had to watch this happen. And right at this point, I'm regretting not having moved my stop. But by the time I felt the regret, it was already too late. There's nothing I can do. So I took a full 1R loss, which could have been a half R loss. It should have been a half R loss, but that was that. And funnily enough, if I had my stop where I wanted it to be, which is above there, I wouldn't have gotten taken out. But anyways, so now after having seen this, I'm thinking, all right, well, let me look at this candle here, and are we going to get continuation to the upside now? Is price finally going to bust above this area? So I'm just watching this candle here, and watching how this plays out. And if you just look at this, hang on, look at this candle here. Look at this candle here. I mean, these are great candles. These are the kinds of candles where you expect the next candle to be something like this or be something like that, and that didn't happen. This candle is good too, except that the thing about this is that most people recognize these kinds of candles. I mean, this is a rejection. It's these kinds of candles that you just don't expect anything to happen like this, which is what my case was for a short there. You just don't expect that to happen after a candle like this, especially considering that I already took out the stops below here and started to trade at the other side of the range. So I get my second trade on here, and look where my entry was. My entry was actually where I wanted it to begin with. And so my stop is now in a good area. It could have been 1 point above, but anyways, this one got to my first target pretty cleanly. Now, I was looking to trail this, and the reason why I didn't have my target here, which is where it should have gone in hindsight, we had news at 10. And what I found on those days is that generally, at least this has been happening recently, I've noticed, is that when we have news at 10, once the market finds a direction, and I'd say at this point that it's found its direction towards the downside. At least that's what I thought. That was in my thought process. Having attempted what is that? Uh, one, two, three good solid attempts to go to the ups to break to the upside and failed. That the markets, I'd say the markets found its direction towards to the downside, and what I found is that the market, no matter what seems to happen on its way down, whether it puts in reversal candles on the way down, it just tends to drag downwards until say maybe 15 to 10 minutes before the actual news comes out, and then finds a new direction. So that's what I had in my mind, and so I was prepared to hold this a little bit longer than I was fully expecting to get some bounce, some resistance or support in this area here. But I just didn't really think of it uh, as the end of the move, which is what it actually turned out to be. Uh, I either should have taken profit here, I should have moved my target up, or I should have moved my stop down. I did neither, and so I had to watch this happen. So it's one of those things where you're either in or you're out, and I was sort of I was on the not the sidelines, but what's the when you're walking on a sidewalk and you got one foot on the sidewalk and one foot on the pavement. That was me. Yeah, so I should have taken profit here. But anyways, so the next trade, my thought process here was, okay, so I just got stopped out, but again, just having that bias of the way that these usually play out with news, I was thinking, all right, is there a potential for another trade to the downside? So that's what I'm thinking. But once price rejected strongly and it traded right back up into this range here. And then just looking at this in context, so we've had a bounce off the 16,600 level. We have this nice rejection here. I mean, a strong down candle, but then a strong up candle, completely wipe out that move, trading right back up into this range. I'm thinking it's time to let go of my bias, my news bias, and start thinking about trade to the upside. And this one happened so quickly, I didn't even have a chance to really even manage it. I moved my stop up here, but I didn't. By the time I even moved my stop, it actually hit my second target. So that was done pretty quickly there. So, anyways, that was that, and yeah. So I'm working on a video to go over my setups in depth. So look out for that one. But for now, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.